But right here, this is my ingredients for my batch today. I got a bag of grains for to steep, and I've got some I blew out there on the top. I've got some. I'm going to change their recipe up just a little bit because I like my beer a little sweeter and a little maltier. So I'm going to add 1 pound of dried malt extract to it as well. And then this is the malt. And then these are the hops. I'm also going to do something a little different than what they usually do. They usually have the bittering hops and then the finishing hops, but I'm also going to dry hop this beer. So this is our Cascade. It's all Cascade hops, so I'm gonna dry hop that, and I think that's going to turn out really good. This is the bag that comes with it, and then these are the instructions. We'll kind of follow this, and hopefully our specific gravity will turn out. But anyway, I will. We'll see how it goes. This is our brew vessel. I've had this for quite a while. I just haven't had a ball lock on it, so we've always cooled it with ice. But it's always been kind of a challenge. So we were able to put one of these from bargainfittings.com. We were able to put one of these ball lock valves on it, a 1/2 inch stainless steel. And then I made a pickup tube from brass tube, and I sweat it all together, and that's in my pot right now. So yeah, it turned out really good. I'm really excited about it, and that's a pretty good setup for brewing beer. Then we're out here. This is our cleansing staging area. So we've got a bottling bucket. We'll put some star sands in, and then we've got our keg or our carboy. We're going to fill that up and sanitize that and clean it out really good. Okay, there's our grains. We're flushing out all the goodies out of it. We steeped those grains kind of like a tea bag for an hour and 15 minutes at 155 degrees, and now we're pouring sparge water over the top of them to kind of rinse all the sugars out of the conversion. That's 175 degree water that we're rinsing through into our brew kettle. And once we get through with that, with this process, that'll rinse down. We'll ready for our 1 hour boil. There's my assistant brewer, John. Of course, I can't get it's kind of dark with my assistant brewmaster. We've got the malt extract poured in. We've got all the malt extract, all the grains rinsed in our brew kettle. We're about to add 1 ounce in a hop bag. There's hops in here. Show you what hops look like. We use hop pellets. Hop pellets kind of look like rabbit food a little bit. We'll put that in. That's 1 ounce of Cascades. We're going to put 1 ounce of Cascades in for the first 60 minutes. We're going to put another ounce in. These are what they call bittering hops. We're going to add this for 60 minutes, and the last 15 minutes, the boil, we'll add another ounce for the last 15 as aroma hops, and then the last 3 minutes we'll add another ounce to kind of give it a little stronger flavor. So this is going to be a pale ale, and then like I said, we're going to dry hop it once it goes into the fermenter after we rack it to the secondary. So I'll give you a little bit more update as we go along once it starts boiling. Hop bag in. And she's going good now. She got a nice rolling boil. Everything's good. We'll cook. Like I said, we'll cook that for an hour like that, or for 45 minutes. We'll add another ounce of hops, and then we'll cook that down, and then the last 3 minutes we'll add another ounce. So, all right, we just added the 15 minutes. We added the another ounce of Cascade hops. Everything's still boiling really good. We we estimate somewhere around 3/4 of a gallon boil off. Everything looking really good. on our next video, I'm gonna add a sight glass onto our brew kettle on the side, so we'll be able to measure exactly how much wort. This is called wort, by the way. Wort is the beer when it hasn't been fermented. We'll be able to estimate or actually measure the amount of wort in our pot by a sight glass I'm going to mount on the outside of the vessel. Okay, so now we're transferring the wort out of the brew vessel. This is our chiller. It's a aluminum block that's got copper tubing through it, so we transfer off the bottom of the brew kettle through that chiller that's immersed in water, so it keeps it cool, and it comes out and it's nice and cool and goes into our fermentation vessel. This is our fermentation vessel. The next step after this is we have to take a hydrometer reading. So we've taken a small sample. I'm pretty happy with the color that it turned out. Now we're going to take a hydrometer reading. What this will do, it'll measure the gravity of the wort, and then we can write that number down. And before we put it in the keg, we'll take another reading, and it'll tell us how much alcohol is actually fermented in the beer. But I'm actually really quite happy with that color of that. It'll actually lighten up a little bit and clear out when we kettle. So what's that reading say, John?
15, right at 15, so
1.0 what?
It's like 1.060.
1.060. Alright. Alright, we think we had a slight miscalculation in our boil off. So what we're going to do, since we couldn't really measure in the vessel, we're going to pour the wort into a bottling bucket. The bottling bucket has some measurements already on the side. We need to have at least 5 gallons. You remember when we took our hydrometer reading, we said it was a little high, and then when we got it into the fermenter, we said, hey, we don't feel like we have quite enough, so we're going to pour it in here to check. So this is all sterilized. We sterilize this with Star Sands. We're going to pour it in here. We're going to measure how much is in there, and if there's not quite 5 gallons, then we're going to top it off with some cold water before we pitch our yeast. And looks like we thought we were going to be off about half a gallon, and we think what happened was the grains absorbed a little more water than we thought we calculated. So anyway, so here's the wort, and then here's the 5 gallon. Yeah, so yeah, we're off probably about a half a gallon, John. See? See the 5 gallon mark right there?
Yeah, we are.
So we're going to add some cold water to this to get that down to or up to 5 gallons. Alright, yep, just as we suspected, we were about 3/4 of a gallon low. So what we're going to do is we put it in the bottling bucket, and we're going to go ahead and take another hydrometer reading to see where we are with on the original gravity. We added some cold water to it, so John's gonna do that here. Should be about 1.046, or we're still up about 1.0 what? 5.7. 24? 1.052? 54?
54.
1.054? That's what I saw spinning around there.
Uh, 52.
1.052?
Yep.
Now that makes me a lot more happy, because that's closer to where we're supposed to be, and I would expect that because we did add a little more malt than the original recipe called for. So